Hello, everybody, and welcome to Disarming Design Conversations, which was a series of talks on design, politics, and cultural resistance. I am Omar, and today we are pleased to have a talk with Jessica Azizeh, a Palestinian designer and ceramist from Jerusalem. Hello, Jessica.
مرحبا.
And from the team of Disarming Design, we have Annalise, Natalia, and Lucia in Brussels.
Dag allemaal.
Hola a todos. Ciao a tutti.
I would like to start with the question, Jessica. How would you describe life in Jerusalem? And how does the young generation now cope with living in such a politically charged city?
I think that life in Jerusalem has many sharp contrasts and complexities. It's very disorganized in a way. Jerusalem puts you in a place where you constantly have to reorient yourself to whatever you're seeing or experiencing because of the sharp contrasts that are within the city. Between, for example, the scenery of an old era of archaeological and historical buildings to old sites and our contemporary times, there are contrasts between the atmosphere of peace and harmony that you breathe within the city and the arms and weapons and violence that you see. Between the secular lifestyle and the religious vibes that are also present here. So from one side, you really fall in love with the city and with the beauty and the richness that are in Jerusalem. And from another side, you feel the distress that you experience in your everyday life. I think every person living in Jerusalem finds their own way to cope with the reality. Maybe some people turn to religion to seek comfort and serenity to help them endure living here, and other create smaller bubbles of comfortable realities. And I think we try to seek comfort by belonging to groups of people that resemble us in our style of living.
Thank you, Jessica. Living in such a reality, how come you chose to study design, and what makes you keep being a designer? What makes it a valuable profession and practice for you?
I chose to study design because since a young age, I've always had an appreciation for aesthetic values of objects. And from another side, I'm also very interested in the material culture and crafts of my own heritage. If we look back in time, I think that design came before art. Design came before art because it had a functional need. Design was born the day the first woman picked up a stone from the floor and looked at it and turned it in her hand and understood its weight and its texture and started to think what she can do with this. And I think this is the importance of our material culture. Palestine has a very rich material culture from the rural life. And design allows me to learn about this culture, and it allows me to create interesting intersections, simultaneously looking backwards at our historical life and forwards, creating new contemporary projects that intersect those two things.
According to you, what is the local impact of disarming design?
So I think disarming design creates a unique and important connection, which enhances Palestinian artisanal crafts, which are very marginalized in the country, all over the country. Through the design objects that disarming design creates, I really respect how they also narrate a story and they raise awareness. I think it's very important for young local designers to see an example of how design can contribute to the Palestinian struggle and how it can be used to create something. And I really enjoy the work of disarming design the combination of those three things that they combine, in my opinion, craft, design, and storytelling, I think it creates very rich projects.
Going further, can you tell us a bit about the work that you are doing now for Disarming Design from Palestine and the current products that you are working on?
Yeah, so I am continuing the projects that started in 2019 from the summer school. And I'm working with a few designers that worked on that created the original products. And we are bringing those products to life. The first product that I'm working on is called Palestine. It's an irregular hourglass that distorts time and makes it unpredictable. This is something that Palestinians experience on a daily basis for reasons like checkpoints, papers, longer routes, or blockades. The second product that I'm working on is called Fold Back Home. It's a picnic blanket that folds into a backpack, so you can carry your food with you to the mountain. It contains pockets for ingredients for a Palestinian breakfast. And it's very relevant because sharing food together is at the heart of our culture.
Last question. Would you say that design can be a form of empowerment by expressing criticism of unjust realities? And I mean, in what ways do you feel that design practices can contribute to the struggle for justice, dignity, and freedom?
I think that any kind of creative expression is a powerful tool of communication through which people connect with themselves and their values and manifest it on the outside. Through the interaction between the intangible internal reality and the formulated object in the external reality, the process of empowerment takes place in a way because you reconnect with yourself through this form of expression, which makes you stronger and it makes you more authentic. And therefore, I think it's a very important tool.
Thank you, Jessica, so much for being with us here. And thank you all, Annalise, Natalia, Lucia, and see you in next conversation.